Hello, 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 and welcome back to another video with AndriaSimmons, aka Luminous, with Luminous's Intuitive Talks, brought to you by Luminous's Divine Healings. So let's go ahead and get into today's quick video. So today's discussion is just going to be an audio, and I am going to discuss about how important it is sometimes to let go of temporary pleasures. Sometimes you just have to drop some of those temporary pleasures just for a moment in order to keep your focus. Sometimes in order to keep your focus, you have to remove some of those distractions. Some of those distractions may include people. It may include certain habits. It may include certain hobbies. It may include certain addictions. And addictions doesn't always have to be something as such as drugs and alcohol. That is in the equation, of course, but it could also be something as such as sexual addictions. It could be something as simple as, just overdoing something, just doing too much of something that is a distraction. So that's what we want to touch on today. So let's talk about a few of those things. So like I mentioned, it could be things such of certain drugs, like it doesn't have to be hard drugs. It could be something as simple as marijuana. Okay, I could be the first one to admit, baby, I was a smoker. And when I say a smoker, I love to smoke me a little blunt every now and again. But when it's time for me to keep my focus, all of that is cut short. Because for me, now I'm not going to say it's easy for everybody, but for me, because I would smoke so much, it would be easy for me to just stop smoking, because sometimes I would need a break anyway. So I would just stop smoking in order to keep my focus when I'm trying to get to the money, get to my bag, when I'm working and stuff. I don't smoke. I'm gonna tell you right now, I have been about 2 to 3 months, about 3 months clean from smoking marijuana. Okay, baby, when I say I be wanting to hit a blunt so bad, but I'm trying to keep my focus. I have a goal right now that I want to maintain. I have just things that I'm really trying to focus on that are important, like taking care of my family, taking care of myself, stacking and saving my money, going to work. I'm doing things to build something that's gonna last for me in the long run. So I'm not focused on wasting no money on no blunt right now. I'm cool. I'm straight. I could just imagine I'm smoking a blunt and I'd be straight. But like I said, I smoke my Black and Milds here and there. So I'm good. I'm cool. But even then, I even take breaks from my Black and Milds every now and then. I love my BLKs. I must smoke me a BLK, but I know how and when to stop and when, just to cut it off. So here's another example for people out there, even if it's not a sexual addiction, even sometimes you need to cut off sex in order to maintain your focus. Because sometimes when you mix and mingle and, have all of those energies, or some of those energies that you entangle yourself with when it comes to other people, that can disrupt what's going on within your life. Because some people got bad omens and demons on them, and that will rub off onto you and cause you to lose out on so many things like finances. It'll cause you to miss out on opportunities. It'll cause you to miss out on just a lot of things that could have benefited you. So You know, sometimes you gotta cut off that bumping and grinding, okay? Sometimes it gotta go. If you gotta practice celibacy for a little while, then do so. Me, myself, I'm in my celibate stage because, like I said, sometimes when I'm trying to focus, ain't none of that going on. Ain't none of that smoking going on. You know, I barely drink. I'll probably get me like a little wine cooler or a little, you know, some little something, you know. But I don't drink heavy alcohol or nothing like that when I'm trying to focus, because like I said, a lot of that blocks what you are trying to, you know, go after. Okay, a lot of those things, you know, it messes with your mental stage as well, your mental state. You know, a lot of that kind of like, you know, causes you to like be forgetful. A lot of that can cause you to just not be in your right state of mind. So sometimes you just gotta cut that stuff off. Even if you enjoy it, yeah, it's a temporary pleasure, yeah, it's fun, yeah, but hey, what is it really doing for you except being a simple temporary pleasure? It's not getting you no money. In fact, it's making you lose money. It's not it's not allowing you to elevate. What is it allowing you to elevate? Nothing. It's not benefiting you in no kind of way. Okay, I know a lot of people like to drink and use substance and all kind of stuff like that to kind of numb themselves from daily pain or whatever they got going on within their lives. But sometimes that's the reason that we be out here suffering. We be thinking that junk is numbing us and helping us to cope. It's not. It's just making it worse, because it's once those highs and all of those, you know, that happiness, once it starts to die down, all of that's gone. You're right back to square one, feeling the way you felt right before you took it, drank it, or whatever, or did it. So, you know, sometimes you just got to cut that stuff off. Okay, you might have some withdrawal effects. You might, you know, feel like, oh, I need this, or I gotta have this, or I just got to. But sometimes you just gotta be like, hey, maintain that discipline, because that's what I was talking to you guys about the other day. Sometimes you have to maintain that discipline and apply it to your life so that you can focus. Because like I said, a lot of those temporary pleasures, habits, hobbies, and things that are destructive to you in reality are what's holding you back and what's holding you down. So sometimes you just have to, you know, like I said, have that self-control, have that self-discipline. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do in order, like I said, to focus. That way you can have your mind set on your goal, have your mind set on that plan. If you want to get that car, you got to work hard, get that money to get that vehicle. If you want to get that house, you got to work hard. You got to put in the work and stay focused to get that house. Things are not going to just drop into your life. Things are not just going to just drop into your hands, fall out the sky out of nowhere. You got to put in that work. What did I say the other day when I wrote that little post? I was referring back to the Bible when it said, faith without works is dead. That means you're not getting nothing. You can have faith all day long that you're going to get something. You can have faith all day long that you're going to be a millionaire, a billionaire. You can have faith all day long that you're going to get a house and a car. But if you don't put in that work and make that money and do what you need to do in order to get that stuff, it's not gonna happen. Manifesting is when you think about what you want, you write on paper what you want, but you got to put in that work. You got to believe. You got to have faith. You got to keep praying. You got to keep staying strong. You got to stack that money. And it's a process. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen tomorrow or the next day or anything like that. But it'll happen if you put in that work. Because, you know, the bigger the blessing, the longer it's going to take for you to have to put in that work sometimes. Okay, all that fast money and fast cash, all that stuff comes from like scheming and scamming and, stepping on other people's heads and necks and stuff to get what you want. And that's not going to be a gift from God. That's going to be a gift from the devil. So you got to put in that work. You got to be honest. You know what it says, an honest man's work is, how you receive your money, your blessings and stuff like that. How you treat people. It's all about attracting. You have to put out there what you want to attract. So you have to do that. That's how you manifest. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to stop all that bumping and grinding. We know R. Kelly said, I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. God sees something wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be out here throwing that thing and stuff around here all willy-nilly thinking you ain't gonna attract all of these dang demonic spirits, these sexually transmitted demons. You can't be just throwing that wham in the circle. You can't be throwing that stuff out here left and right. Besides, it's not safe nowadays. People got all kind of crap. You don't know what people got. Some people unknowingly got stuff because they don't take their behinds to the doctors to get checked and all that ill. Okay, we got people out here who know they got stuff, but they spreading it around just because they don't want to be the only ones with it. Some of them be doing it on purpose. You got to protect yourself out here nowadays. People ain't right. People are crazy. Some people just are like really mentally disturbed. Some of these people are real deal, just have mental issues. And you can tell by the way they operate, how they act, what they do. You can tell who ain't in their right minds for real. So, what did God say? A tree is known by its fruit. Whatever these people produce, that's who they are. So they can hide and wear masks and all that stuff all day and act like they're good people. But what they do tells who they really are. So sometimes, like I say, you got to protect yourself. Apply that discipline. Have that self-control. Maintain yourself. Okay, work out. Eat healthy. Go to work. Or keep on focusing on that business. Put a business together. Write a book. Okay, just do something that's going to give you good fruit in the future. That's going to produce for you. That's going to give you that generational wealth to pass down to you, your kids and grandchildren and all of that. Be that generational curse breaker. Be that one to make that change. It's not easy. You're going to have people that come against you. Because what did the Bible say? It was a lot of people that rejected Jesus and God. And it's still to this day. It's people out here who act like they love God, but they reject everything about God. But then, they turn around and try to go behind the scenes and pray to God and ask God for stuff. And, oh, I'm sorry I did this and da. God turns his back and doesn't listen to any of those prayers of those kind of people because they know what they did. They did what they did on purpose. And, they didn't have no regret when they were doing it. They had a conscious mind. They had that discernment to not do what they did in the first place, but they still went against it. They still did it, and they just thought, oh, if I just apologize to God and say I'm sorry, everything's gonna be okay. No, it's not, because God is gonna still punish them. God is gonna still tear their asses up. Okay, God will forgive you after you repent and after you really do the right things and really show that you have a good heart and really do what you need to do in order to get right. But God is not going to sit there and reward what was deceitful. God is not going to reward what was betrayal or what was done on purpose out here. God is not going to reward the crazy stuff. So sometimes, like I say, you got to have that discipline. Stop dealing with certain people. Stop dealing with certain things. Stop doing certain things. Refrain from certain things, activities, and people and places. Sometimes we got to do that stuff. Okay, a lot of people are like, oh, that's boring. Oh, it's not boring. It's not boring if you find something else that you like to do of good. Find something else that'll be fun and interesting to you that's not going to cause you to self-sabotage yourself or, destroy or harm other people. There's a lot of things that you could do that aren't going to be destructive and that's still going to be fun. A lot of people think that being on the side of God is boring and, oh, you got to do all this. No, you can still be yourself. You can still be your crazy, funny, just ridiculous self. But it's all about treating people right. It's all about doing the right things and, still enjoying life, the simple pleasures of life. Everything doesn't have to be negative in order to be fun. So, like I said, you just got to find, what you like to do. You just got to find what's in your heart that you enjoy to do, something that's already embedded within you. But that's enough of that for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. I know I was kind of talking fast. I'm just trying to get back to my babies. I was cleaning up and that download just came to me like, let's just talk to these people about refraining from certain things, because baby, I don't know why. I was just, while I was cleaning, I was like, man, I want to smoke a blunt, because my neighbors, they be smoking, I be smelling it, I be like, ooh, I miss that smell. But you know what, I was like, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm straight. I'm trying to stay focused right now. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys today. I just want y'all to be happy and prosperous and, live that good life of abundance. So I'm up out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode with AndriaSimmons, aka Luminous, on Luminous's Intuitive Talks, brought to you by Luminous's Divine Healings. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.